Hello, how are you? Hope all are fine and well. Last class we had discussed about goal setting. We learned how one can get effectively. We also learned that without goal setting there is no success. But today we are going to learn about important point which is strongly related with goal setting. What is that? That is nothing but motivation. Just goal setting is not enough. You need to boost it from time to time. Sometimes our excitement to do a work weakens slowly. So we need something to boost it, and that boosting can be done by motivation. So motivation also plays very important role in our life to become success. What is motivation? Motivation is a force within a person that drives the desire of the person to move forward to achieve the goal. Motivation may also be termed as a strong inspiration within a self. A positive motivation helps achieving the goal, but on the other hand, a negative motivation may reduce the performance and fails in achieving the goal. A key element achieving a goal is motivation. Motivation is a psychological phenomenon which generates a force within an individual to reach the goal and to achieve the goal. Normally, the interest of reaching goal dies out slowly. In order to keep up the interest live, motivation is needed. So, motivation may be regarded as a supplement to the goal. A motivation moves a person closer to his goal bit by bit and generates hunger for the success. Motivation is classified into four types. They are external motivation, positive motivation, negative motivation, and self motivation. External motivation is a motivation that comes from friends or relatives. Since childhood, parents goes on motivating about education, behavior, social relations, and earning in future. Sometimes other relatives and friends gives advices about many things which may help in building a career. But if the interest of the person is not according to the advice, the motivation may not be fruitful. Positive motivation is a motivation by rewarding someone. For example, an employer gives incentives or promotion to their employees to boost their work to generate productivity. In the similar way, a teacher gives award to the students for going and doing well in the examination to bring name and fame to the institution. This type of motivation works to some extent only. Negative motivation is such a motivation which is based on force or fear and not from the willingness of a person. Sometimes organization or institution threatens their employees and forces them to do work. Fear like demotion or removal or layoff forces a person to do a work to avoid punishment but actually not willing. This is an act of push mechanism and causes anger and frustration. Such motivation is not desirable and will never be fruitful. Self motivation is a motivation which is generated by self without the influence of other. A person with self motivation need not need any encouragement from outside and has power to accomplish the goal by his own inner force. Such people always try to improve to the best. Self motivation is a fundamental tool for reaching, achieving, and succeeding goals. Therefore, a self motivation has a topmost priority and needs to be mastered. Andrew Carnegie said, people who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity no matter how impressive their other talents are. But how to get self motivated? We can become a self motivator by developing certain qualities inside us. They are: be a dreamer, be hungry for achieving something, overcome obstacles, never compare with others but with yourself. Don't let past rule over you. Dreaming means visualize your future. A person must visualize the future that was exactly he want to do in his life. A visualization is a kind of imagination about what exactly he can do in future based on his capacity and other things. A dream is your goal to work upon. So it is important to dream to become a successful person like doctor or engineer or businessman. Truly saying, one should have a hunger to achieve the goal and not just a desire, because desire can't overcome difficulties as it is just a desire but not the reality. So, desire is not a reality, but hunger can be anything to reach a goal and can destroy all obstacles on the way. So, always have a hunger and not a desire to achieve your goal. Mostly people quit and drop their goals whenever they encounter a serious problem and get ready to quit. In such a situation, a dream looks like fading away slowly. So, it is essential to focus on solving the problem instead of quitting. This is called overcoming the obstacles. Once obstacles are cleared, you are ready to move to the next step. Comparing with others may only degrade or demotivate a person. Once you have done it, that means you are gone. Hence, compare with yourself as you have your own race and running a track. Comparing yourself with others is like comparing the performance of a swimmer with a runner using the same time standard. They are different, so how can you compare one with other? Moreover, comparing with others may lead to demotivation. One of the best demotivators in your life is your past. Your past can pull you down before you realize it. So don't carry the burden of past on your shoulder. Simply throw it down and proceed ahead. Madame Curie failed many times, but she never looked back and started her experiments from scratch. Finally, she got success. Now, let us clearly understand the exact meaning of self motivation. Now, here there are two examples. Let us try to understand these two examples. First of all, suppose a student completes all his school assignments regularly without the compulsion of his teacher or parents and without the fear of getting punished. But he does it only because he wants to learn and gain knowledge. Then what is this? No doubt this is an example of self motivation. But on the other hand, suppose a woman goes to the gym because she wants to keep herself away from putting off weight and to keep up the word of her doctor, then that is not a self motivation. To understand more deeply about the self motivation, let us take one more example. A clubber was a son of a very poor hunter. He wanted to save the deers in the forest from leopards. So he wanted to become a good archer. He went to Dronacharya and expressed his willingness to learn archery from him, but Dronacharya rejected him to teach archery to him, as it was against the law of that time. But Eklavya was not disappointed. He made an idol of Dronacharya as his master and started practicing his own. In a short while, he mastered archery because Eklavya had a fire to learn archery and not just a desire. This self motivation made him a successful archer. Let us see what are the advantages of self motivation. The advantages of self motivations are as follows. Your goal is certainly reached. It does not let you depend on others. Achieve a full success. Keeps on igniting to proceed ahead. Your inner force is always live. Eradicates your weakness. Adds value to the goal. It never allows to slow down or divert your goal. Explores new idea within you. Goal is effective and efficient. Now let us take live examples of self-motivated persons. They struggled but had a clear focus on what they had to do. They were highly self-motivated persons. They were not advised by anybody. They were sincere to their work. Walt Disney was born on 5th December 1901 in Chicago. The young Walt Disney developed an interest in fine art and became the cartoonist for animation. Walt Disney was self motivated and his concentration was fully on animated cartoons, and this led him to become a film producer, media magnate, and co founder. He was an iconic figure in the 20th century media and entertainment industry, helping to produce many films. With his staff, he created famous cartoon characters such as Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. His name was also used for successful Disney theme parks. During his lifetime, he received a record 59 nominations for the Academic Awards, winning 22 awards in his life. Les Brown was born with his twin brethren an abandoned building in Liberty City, a low income section of Miami, Florida. He was given up for adoption to 38 years old single woman Mamie Brown, who worked as a cafeteria attendant and domestic assistant. He was declared as a mentally retarded in his school time, but his strong willpower and his self motivation pushed him to be a great motivational speaker, author, and politician too. Malala Yousuf was born in Mingora, Pakistan on July 12, 1997. She is a first youngest Pakistani girl ever to win the Nobel Prize. She is a Pakistani activist for female education. She was abused by Taliban in 2012 for daring to seek an education as a woman. While returning home on the school bus, she was shot in the head by the Talibanis. After multiple surgeries and rehabilitation, she recovered, finished secondary school, and today studies at Oxford University. Stephen King, as the twisted writer who almost always sets his horror stories in many. To date, he has produced and sold upward of 350 million copies of his novels. But being an author is not always easy because it comes with a lot of competition. Unbelievably, King's first novel was 30 times rejected before a firm would publish it. He even threw the book in the dustbin, giving up the idea of publishing. But his wife encouraged him and searched it out from the dustbin, and the rest is the history that everybody knows. Nick was born without arms and legs. He is a young inspiration for millions across the world. He is a good speaker, attracting huge crowd packed in a single stadium. He is a successful writer too. Some of the most famous books written by him are Life Without Limits, Unstoppable, Limitless, Stand Strong, and Love Without Limits. His books have been translated into over 30 different languages of the world and have been sold more than 1 million copies internationally. Last but not least, St. Jerome quotes that good, better, best. Never let it rest till your goal is better and better is best. Means, what do you mean by this? Means we must go on working till the result is achieved best. If you have not any motivation, then certainly your goal is going to crash. Hope you understood what exactly motivation is. I hope you too will set goals, and to achieve them you will have your own motivation. Thank you for attending this session. Meet you in the next class with a new subject.
Kindly support this channel by purchasing this book. Get it on Google Play Store for just rupees 88 and 50 paise.
Thank you. Jai Hind.